Right now, at this very moment, store shelves across America are being emptied by people who know something you don't. And here's why it matters. While most people are going about their daily lives, 23 million Americans are quietly stockpiling specific items that could become impossible to find in 2026. Stick around, because I'm about to reveal the 13 critical supplies that preppers are panic buying before the next crisis hits, and some of these will absolutely shock you. Hey everyone, I've spent the last 3 weeks researching the prepping industry, analyzing market data from 2025, and interviewing survival experts. What I found is absolutely jaw-dropping. Here's something they're not telling you on mainstream news. The survival industry just crossed 14.7 billion. That's billion with a B, and it's growing faster than almost any other sector in America. But here's the really disturbing part. Certain items are disappearing from warehouses at rates we haven't seen since the peak of the pandemic. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly which 13 items are flying off shelves, why experienced preppers are stockpiling them right now, and the lesser-known facts that explain what's really coming in 2026. We're talking about supply chain experts predicting shortages, climate data showing unprecedented disasters, and economic indicators that are setting off alarm bells in the prepping community. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Some of these items might surprise you. Number 4 and number 11 definitely caught me off guard. But first, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, have you noticed any shortages, price hikes, or unusual buying patterns in your local stores lately? Your observations matter, and I read every single comment. All right, let's get into this. Starting with number 1. Item 1, freeze-dried and long-term food storage. Number 1 on the panic buying list, long-term food storage. And I'm not talking about a few extra cans of soup. Preppers spent $11 billion on food and supplies in a single year. Let that sink in for a moment. $11 billion. Freeze-dried meals are leading this massive charge, and these aren't your grandma's dusty canned vegetables sitting in the basement. We're talking about gourmet freeze-dried lasagna that actually tastes good, chicken teriyaki with real vegetables, complete meal kits that can sit on your shelf for 25 years or more without going bad. Amazon alone sold over 3,000 emergency food kits in just 1 month. Think about that number. 3,000 families decided they needed backup food in 30 days. Costco, Walmart, and Home Depot can barely keep these items in stock. The moment they restock their shelves, they're emptied again within days. This isn't normal shopping behavior. This is people who see what's coming and they're taking action now. Here's why preppers absolutely love freeze-dried food. It's incredibly lightweight. Compared to canned goods, it's packed with nutrients that stay preserved for decades. You just add hot water and boom, you've got a meal ready in minutes. And here's the kicker, these buckets take up minimal space. You can store a year's worth of meals in your closet without turning your home into a warehouse. During a food shortage, whether it's from climate disasters wiping out crops or supply chain breakdowns leaving grocery stores empty, having a year's worth of meals stored away isn't paranoid. It's practical. It's smart. It's survival. Pro tip from someone who's studied this: don't go crazy and buy everything at once. That'll drain your bank account fast. Build your stockpile gradually instead. Every time you go shopping, grab 1 or 2 buckets, add them to your cart like it's no big deal. Before you know it, you'll have months of food security without breaking the bank or raising suspicions. Item 2, water filtration systems. Here's a survival fact that every prepper lives by. You can survive 3 weeks without food. That's 21 days of hunger. But water, you've only got 3 days, 72 hours before your body starts shutting down. That's why water filtration systems are flying off the shelves faster than anything else in 2025. The Big Berkey gravity-fed filter has become the gold standard. Preppers swear by it. But we're also seeing massive demand for LifeStraw personal filters, Sawyer mini filters that fit in your pocket, and the AquaBrick portable purification system that doubles as storage. These aren't luxury items anymore, they're necessities. Why the panic? Because clean water isn't guaranteed anymore in America. Municipal water supplies are getting contaminated more frequently than officials want to admit. Natural disasters are cutting off access to clean water for weeks at a time. Preppers know something that most people are ignoring. Filters capable of removing 99.99% of bacteria, viruses, and protozoa aren't negotiable anymore. They're survival tools. Here's what makes these systems absolutely brilliant. Some of these filters can process 4,700 gallons of clean water. That's not a typo. 4,700 gallons from a single filter cartridge. That's years of safe drinking water from lakes, streams, rivers, or even questionable tap water that looks cloudy. Imagine this scenario for a second. A hurricane knocks out power and water for 3 weeks. Everyone in your neighborhood is scrambling to find bottled water at empty stores. People are fighting over the last case. Meanwhile, you're calmly walking to a nearby creek with your filter bottle. You're filling up without panic. Why? Because you invested $250 in a quality filtration system months earlier when nobody was paying attention. Water is life. It's that simple. Secure your source right now, not when the faucets run dry and panic sets in. Item 3, solar generators and backup power, rule number 1 of prepping. When the lights go out, panic sets in fast. Rule number 2, when panic sets in, solar generator sales go through the roof. And boy, are they going up right now. Generac reported sales spikes of 30% during hurricane seasons. That's not a small bump. That's people waking up to reality. EcoFlow Delta Pro units, sold out. Jackery Explorer systems, back ordered for weeks. Bluetti Elite generators. You have to get on a waiting list just to buy one. This isn't normal retail behavior. This is mass preparation happening in real time. Why the surge? Because rolling blackouts aren't some future problem anymore. Grid failures are happening right now across America. Cyber attacks on infrastructure aren't conspiracy theories you read about on fringe websites. They're making headlines. In 2025 alone, we've seen multiple widespread power outages affecting millions of people. The grid is fragile. Everyone can see it now. Here's what's trending in the prepping community. Solar generators with battery capacities ranging from 1,000 watt-hours for basic needs up to massive 12,000 watt-hour systems that can power entire homes for days. Some models are even MP hardened. That means they're designed to survive electromagnetic pulse events that would fry every regular electronic device you own. Think about that level of protection. Picture this scenario. The power goes out in your neighborhood. Your refrigerator keeps running because you're powered up. Your medical devices stay charged. Your phone works. Your communication tools are online. Your family stays safe and comfortable. All of this happens without relying on a grid that's proving less reliable every single year. Here's the best part. These systems are getting more affordable every month. Yes, you might spend $1,000 to $3,000 up front, but compare that cost to losing all your frozen food, compare it to your medication spoiling, compare it to being unable to communicate during an extended blackout. Smart preppers aren't waiting for the next crisis to hit. They're charging up right now. Item 4, heirloom seeds. Now, here's something that separates casual preppers from the hardcore survivors. Heirloom seeds. You might be thinking, seeds? Really? That's what preppers are panicking about? But listen to this shocking fact. National Geographic reported a 93% decline in heirloom seed varieties over the last century. 93%. That's almost complete extinction of our food heritage. Why is this happening? Because big seed corporations have flooded the market with hybrid and GMO seeds that are genetically programmed to produce once, just once. You plant them, you harvest, and then you're done. You can't save seeds from them for next year's harvest. They're designed to make you dependent. You have to buy new seeds every single season. It's a trap that keeps you coming back. Heirloom seeds are the real deal. They're what your great-grandparents planted. You plant them once, harvest your vegetables, save the best seeds, and plant again next year. Then you repeat forever. It's an infinite food supply that costs you nothing after the first purchase. Preppers are stockpiling seed vaults right now. These vaults contain 30 to 40 different varieties. Tomatoes, beans, corn, squash, peppers, herbs, leafy greens, everything you need for complete nutrition. These kits can last 10 years in proper storage. That means food security for generations of your family. Here's the beautiful part that most people miss. While everyone's fighting over the last can of beans at the grocery store during a crisis, you're walking into your backyard, you're picking fresh vegetables that you grew yourself. One single tomato plant can produce 20 pounds of food in a season. Potatoes have saved entire populations from famine for centuries. This is real power. Food independence isn't just about survival when things go wrong. It's about freedom from the system. And it starts with a $30 seed kit that could feed your family for decades. Item 5, medical supplies and first aid kits. When disaster strikes, hospitals get overwhelmed within hours. Ambulances can't reach everyone. Emergency rooms turn people away. That's the harsh reality. That's when your medical preparedness becomes the difference between life and death for someone you love. Comprehensive first aid kits are being snatched up faster than retailers can stock them right now. We're not talking about the little plastic box with a few band-aids you keep in your car. We're talking about serious medical kits with 300 pieces or more, trauma supplies that can stop severe bleeding, tourniquets that save lives when arteries are cut, Israeli bandages used by military medics, chest seals for penetrating wounds, suture kits for closing deep cuts. This is hospital-level equipment for your home. But here's what's really trending in the prepping community. N95 masks are flying off shelves again. Post-pandemic, people aren't taking respiratory protection for granted anymore. We learned that lesson the hard way. Preppers are stocking entire boxes of NIOSH-certified N95 respirators, not 1 or 2 masks. Boxes of 50 or 100. Why? Because airborne pathogens don't announce themselves before they spread. Wildfire smoke is choking entire regions every summer now. Industrial disasters release toxic fumes without warning. You need protection ready to go. Beyond masks, antibiotics have become gold in the prepping world. Some smart preppers are consulting with telemedicine doctors right now to get prescriptions for emergency antibiotics. Amoxicillin for bacterial infections, azithromycin for respiratory infections, ciprofloxacin for serious infections. In a situation where hospitals are unreachable or overwhelmed, having the ability to treat a bacterial infection could save someone's life. That's not an exaggeration. That's medical reality. Don't forget the everyday basics either. Antiseptic wipes for cleaning wounds, sterile gauze pads in multiple sizes, medical tape that actually sticks, pain relievers like ibuprofen and acetaminophen, antihistamines for allergic reactions, blood pressure monitors for chronic conditions, digital thermometers, specialized tools like trauma shears that cut through clothing, hemostatic gauze that stops bleeding fast. Here's a pro tip that saves you money. Many of these items are FSA and HSA eligible. That means you can use pre-tax dollars to build your medical stockpile. That's smart money and smart preparation combined. Protect your family's health right now while supplies are still available on shelves. Item 6, canned proteins. Let's talk about protein for a minute. Because when SHTF, carbs alone won't sustain you, your body will start breaking down muscle. You'll lose strength, you'll get sick easier. Protein is absolutely non-negotiable for survival. Canned proteins are flying off the shelves faster than any other food category right now. Tuna, salmon, chicken, sardines, and yes, even Spam are experiencing unprecedented demand. Preppers are clearing out entire aisles at Costco and Walmart. This isn't normal shopping behavior, this is strategic stockpiling. Why the sudden rush? Grain prices jumped 22% in 2025 alone. That's massive inflation in 1 year. Meat prices are completely unpredictable now. 1 month chicken is affordable, next month it's doubled. Climate disasters are disrupting food production worldwide. Droughts are killing cattle. Floods are destroying feed crops. Geopolitical tensions are shutting down supply chains. But canned proteins? They sit safely on your shelf with shelf lives of 3 to 5 years. Some brands last even longer than that. Here's what experienced preppers know about canned protein. A single can of tuna provides 40 grams of protein. That's more than half your daily requirement in one small can. Canned chicken is incredibly versatile. You can add it to pasta, mix it with rice, dump it in soups, or eat it straight from the can with a fork. No cooking required. Sardines are nutritional powerhouses packed with omega-3 fatty acids, and they cost about $1 per can. That's cheaper than almost any other protein source. Spam gets mocked constantly, but here's the truth. Love it or hate it, Spam is calorie dense, incredibly versatile in recipes, and virtually indestructible. It lasts forever. The smart move is simple. Every time you go shopping, grab 6 cans for your regular pantry rotation, then grab 6 extra cans for deep storage in your prep closet. Before you know it, you've got a year's worth of protein without spending a fortune or raising suspicions. Your body needs protein for muscle repair, immune function, and sustained energy. Don't neglect it in your prep planning. It could be the difference between thriving and just surviving. Item 7, rice and dried beans. If there's one staple that defines prepping, it's rice and beans. This is the foundation. This is where every serious prepper starts their food storage journey. Why are these two simple foods so critical? Because together, they form a complete protein. Your body gets all 9 essential amino acids it needs to survive. Individually, they're incredibly cheap. We're talking pennies per serving. They store forever if kept dry and sealed properly, and they can feed a family for months on an extremely tight budget. This is survival food that actually works. Preppers are buying 50-pound bags of rice right now and storing them in sealed mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. This removes all the air and prevents spoilage. Dried beans get the same treatment. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils. Every variety you can imagine. Stored properly in these mylar bags, they last 30 years. Not 3 years, 30 years. Think about that number for a second. 30 years of food security for the cost of a couple of bags at Costco. You could buy this food today and your grandchildren could eat it in 2055. That's not just preparation. That's generational wealth in the form of calories. Quinoa is also trending hard in the prepping community. Why? Because it's a complete protein all by itself. You don't need to combine it with anything else. It cooks in 15 minutes. It's gluten-free for people with sensitivities, and it's packed with nutrients that rice and beans don't have. But here's the reality. Nothing beats the raw affordability and proven reliability of rice and beans. They've kept populations alive through wars, famines, and economic collapses for thousands of years. Here's the simple strategy that won't break your bank. Every grocery trip, buy 1 extra bag of rice or beans, just 1. It costs you maybe $5 to $10 each time. That's it. You barely notice the expense. But within 6 months of following this strategy, you've got enough staples stockpiled to survive extended food shortages. Within a year, you're sitting on serious food security. This isn't doomsday prepping for conspiracy theorists. This is common sense in an increasingly uncertain world. Rice and beans are your insurance policy, and the premium is cheaper than your monthly streaming subscriptions. Item 8, personal protective equipment. We learned a harsh lesson during COVID that nobody should ever forget. When everyone's scrambling for PPE at the same time, shelves empty fast. Within hours, not days. One morning, stores are fully stocked. That afternoon, everything's gone. People were paying 10 times the normal price on the black market. N95 masks, nitrile gloves, face shields, disposable gowns. These aren't just for healthcare workers anymore. That mentality died in 2020. Preppers are stocking up right now because airborne threats, pandemics, and hazardous material situations don't announce themselves in advance. They don't send you a warning email. N95 respirators filter out 95% of airborne particles. That's where the name comes from. That includes viruses floating in the air, bacteria from sick people coughing, wildfire smoke that turns the sky orange, and industrial pollutants from chemical accidents. During California's wildfire seasons that get worse every year, or when air quality plummets to hazardous levels, having proper respiratory protection isn't optional. It's survival equipment. Nitrile gloves deserve more attention than they get. They're essential for handling contaminated materials without getting infected, for treating injuries without infection risk, for maintaining hygiene when clean water is scarce and you can't wash your hands. Face shields protect your eyes from splashes and airborne droplets. Disposable gowns create a barrier between you and contamination. Here's the beauty of PPE. It's relatively inexpensive right now while nobody's panicking. A box of 50 N95 masks costs about $40. That's less than $1 per mask. A case of nitrile gloves runs maybe $30. But during a crisis, these items become priceless, or they become literally unavailable at any price. Stock up while it's boring and cheap, not when it's urgent and impossible. Item 9, ammunition and self-defense. This is a controversial one, but we're talking about reality here. Not politics, not ideology, just facts about what people are actually doing. During the 2020 lockdowns, ammunition sales spiked 40%. That's not a small increase, that's a massive surge in demand. Why did this happen? Because when people feel uncertain about law enforcement response times or civil stability, they turn to self-defense. It's human nature, it's survival instinct kicking in. Preppers aren't stockpiling ammunition because they're looking for trouble. Let me be clear about that. They're doing it because history shows a harsh pattern. Desperate times can bring desperate people. When systems fail, when police can't respond, when grocery stores are empty, protecting your family and property becomes your personal responsibility. Nobody else is coming to help. Common calibers are constantly selling out right now. 9mm handgun rounds, .223 rifle ammunition, 12-gauge shotgun shells. Walk into any gun store and you'll see empty shelves. Prices fluctuate wildly based on demand and political climate. What costs 50 cents per round today might cost $2 tomorrow. If you're going this route, get proper training first. This is critical. Owning firearms without knowing how to use them safely is worse than not having them at all. You become a danger to yourself and your family. Take classes from certified instructors. Practice regularly at the range, understand your local laws completely, know when you can legally defend yourself. Self-defense isn't just about firearms either. That's a narrow view. Pepper spray stops attackers without lethal force. Tactical flashlights disorient threats and identify dangers. Reinforced doors and window locks prevent break-ins. Home security systems deter criminals before they even try. Your safety is your responsibility, nobody else's. Plan accordingly. Item 10, portable water containers. Here's something most people completely overlook when they start prepping. You need containers to store water, not just filter it. Filters are useless without storage. You can't filter water if you have nowhere to put it. Preppers recommend 20 to 30 gallons of water per person per month. That's for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene. For a family of 4, we're talking about 80 to 120 gallons every single month. That's a lot of water. You can't just fill up your bathtub and hope for the best. The options vary based on your situation. 55-gallon drums work great for home storage if you have space. They're sturdy and hold massive amounts. Stackable aqua bricks hold 3 gallons each and fit in closets or under beds. Portable water bladders are perfect for bug-out situations when you need to evacuate quickly. Some people use all 3 systems depending on their needs. The key is material quality. You need BPA-free food-grade containers that won't leach chemicals into your water over time. Cheap plastic containers break down and contaminate your supply. Many experienced preppers also add water preservation tablets to their stored water. These tablets extend shelf life for years and prevent bacterial growth that makes you sick. Here's the reality nobody wants to think about. Municipal water supplies can be compromised overnight by natural disasters, infrastructure failure, or contamination events. It happens more often than the news reports. Having immediate access to stored clean water means you're not competing with panicked crowds at the grocery store when crisis hits. You're not fighting over the last case of bottled water. Water storage is cheap insurance for a priceless resource. Get your containers now while they're available. Item 11, coffee and comfort non-perishables. Okay, let's talk about something that might surprise you. Coffee, yes, coffee made the list. And there's a very good reason why. When tariffs were announced in April 2025, coffee purchases spiked immediately. Why did this happen? Because 96% of coffee sold in the United States is imported, almost all of it. Tariffs mean price increases, big ones, and preppers aren't about to give up their morning survival fuel. Some things are non-negotiable, but it's not just coffee flying off the shelves. Comfort foods are being stockpiled in huge quantities. Granola bars, dried fruit, tea, chocolate, honey, instant cocoa. These aren't just treats, they're mental health supplies because mental health matters during crises too. This is something a lot of preppers understand that others miss. Here's the psychology behind it. When everything else is falling apart around you, having familiar comforts helps maintain morale and reduces stress levels. Picture this scenario. It's a cold, dark morning after 3 days without power. You're exhausted and worried. Then you make yourself a cup of hot coffee using your camp stove. That simple act? That's not luxury. That's sanity. That's what keeps you mentally stable when everything else feels chaotic. Honey deserves special mention here. It's particularly smart for prepping because it never spoils, ever. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible. It's also a natural antimicrobial that can be used for wound care and sore throats. Here's my advice. Stock what you actually enjoy consuming. Don't buy things you hate just because they last forever. Prepping doesn't mean suffering through terrible food. It means being smart enough to maintain quality of life when others can't. Item 12, emergency communication devices. When the grid goes down, your cell phone becomes just an expensive paperweight. That fancy smartphone you paid $1,000 for, completely useless without cell towers and internet. That's why preppers are investing heavily in alternative communication right now. Two-way radios, ham radios, satellite communicators, and emergency crank-powered weather radios. These devices work when nothing else does. During natural disasters, communication infrastructure fails first. Always. Cell towers lose power within hours. Internet goes completely dark. Landlines stop working. But someone with a ham radio setup, they're coordinating with family members across the state. They're getting real-time weather updates. They're staying informed and connected while everyone else is blind and isolated. Satellite communicators like Garmin InReach or Spot devices work anywhere on Earth. Mountains, deserts, oceans. No towers needed, no infrastructure required. They're expensive, yes. $300 to $500 upfront plus monthly subscription fees. But when you're in a remote area or infrastructure is down, they can literally save lives by calling for help. Two-way radios are much cheaper and perfect for short-range family coordination. If you're separated during an evacuation or emergency, being able to communicate becomes critical. Where do we meet? Is everyone safe? What's happening on your side of town? These questions need answers. Emergency crank radios let you receive weather alerts and news broadcasts without batteries or electricity. You just crank the handle for power. Don't overlook this category. Information is power, especially when power is gone. Communication keeps families together and safe. Item 13, fuel storage and stabilizers. Last, but definitely not least on this list. Fuel storage. This is the ultimate prep for mobility and resilience. Gasoline, diesel, propane. Preppers are stockpiling all of it right now. But here's the catch that most people don't know. Gasoline degrades in 3 to 6 months unless you use fuel stabilizers. It goes bad sitting in your garage. The chemicals break down and it won't run your generator or vehicle. Products like Stabil or Prige extend gasoline shelf life to 2 years or more. That's crucial because during a crisis, gas stations run dry within hours, not days. Hours. Remember the Colonial pipeline hack in 2021? Gas lines stretched for miles. People were waiting 4 hours to fill up. Some stations had no gas at all for a week. Propane is even better for long-term storage because it doesn't degrade at all. Ever. A 20-pound propane tank can power a camping stove for weeks, providing hot meals when electricity is gone. You can also use propane for heating, which becomes critical in winter emergencies. Safe storage is absolutely critical with fuel. Use only approved containers designed for fuel storage. Keep fuel away from any ignition sources. Rotate your stock regularly so it stays fresh. Follow your local regulations on storage limits because they exist for safety reasons. Energy independence means you're not at the mercy of supply chains, price spikes, or distribution failures. Your generator runs when everyone else is in the dark. Your vehicle moves when gas stations are empty. Your family stays warm when heating systems fail. Fuel storage gives you the power to leave dangerous situations or stay comfortable at home. That's real preparedness. So there you have it. The 13 items preppers are panic buying for 2026. Let me be clear, this isn't about fear-mongering. This is about being prepared in a world that's becoming increasingly unpredictable. Currently, 45% of us households maintain emergency supplies. That's not fringe, that's mainstream. People have learned from COVID, from natural disasters, from supply chain failures, that waiting until crisis hits is too late. Here's my advice. Don't panic buy. Don't empty shelves. Don't be that person causing shortages. Instead, build strategically. Every shopping trip, add 1 or 2 items to your stockpile. Within 6 months, you'll have impressive coverage without financial strain. Remember, the goal isn't to survive the apocalypse. The goal is to weather temporary disruptions without panic, without dependence, and without regret. 23 million Americans are already doing this. The question isn't whether you should prepare, it's whether you'll do it before or after everyone else realizes they should have. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 13 items are you prioritizing first? Are you going for food security, water filtration, backup power? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. If this video helped you, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to others who need to see it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss critical preparedness information. And here's the most important part. Share this with your family and friends. Preparedness is better when your community is ready together. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I'll see you in the next video.